First one out's Chris Rock. So we're just like, oh shit, that's an actual celebrity, like right there. That's a big one. Next is Lars Ulrich from Metallica.
What?
So I'm like, all right, I'm starting to have some questions. How are these? What's going on? And then Woody Harrelson comes out. So first off, I'm thinking, who sat in the middle seat of those three people? And who got them all in the same room in the first place? But before we can ask any of those questions or figure out what's going on, another black car. Its doors open. And it is Sting and Trudy. Jess is in a giggle fit already about something.
What did I get wrong? The clap was too. Yeah, no. There, that was much better. Okay, let's get in. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Storytime. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are here today with rock and roll photographer. He is about to break 1 million miles from flying throughout the year. He's here on tour with Billy. Jesse DeFlorio, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, as we said earlier, this is probably going to be a podcast where you run most of this because you have the most fascinating stories. You've worked with the most incredible people. As said, you've flown more than anyone else I think I know. So let's get into let's give the audience a little bit of context as to who you are, what you do, and how you got into it before we get into the fascinating stories.
Great. Well, I grew up I was born in New York City, grew up in New Jersey, and a lot of people from there, we grew up playing in bands. And so, you know, when I'm 14, 15, 16, like I'm playing an instrument, I'm running around with my best friends playing music. And along the way, I started bringing a camera. And I would shoot the other bands that we were playing with and then do press photos for them after and that sort of stuff. And somewhere along the way, I realized I liked doing that more. And I also thought it seemed to come more naturally and I felt like I was better at it. And in my life, I try to lean into the things I'm better at. So I started just doing anything I could to be around musicians so that I could photograph them. So, you know, I'm 16, 17, 18, and I'm selling T-shirts and guitar teching and tour managing and driving and just anything to be back on the road and around the people that I wanted to photograph. And this was, I'm aging myself slightly, but this is like in the pre-Instagram days, the pre-anything days. Like this was for like MySpace. This was like doing, yeah. Like I would go on tour for like 3 weeks and we'd make like one blog post at the end of the tour. And that was it. That was all the photos that anyone saw.
What?
As opposed to like, you know, I send Billy 50 photos a day, probably.
Yeah.
So I just started doing that, and through word of mouth and opportunities, it like one thing leads to another, and I'm still around musicians, and I still say yes to being around musicians just so I could photograph them.
Yeah. So that was like your secret little in was, yeah, I'll drive, I'll sell, I'll whatever. I also get to take photos along the side.
Yes, like, but it's a mix of that. It's the willingness to create your own opportunity to do the thing you really want. And also just it helped me understand musicians more than, and most of my subjects are musicians. The overwhelming majority of what I photograph are musicians or a celebrity here and there. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So being around them 24/7, I understand the psyche. I understand how their day is. I know when I can push to do something. I know when I should just lean back a little bit. And all of that came from those formative years of just touring with my friends from New Jersey, and then slowly they get signed to record deals. You know, one of them, a band called Young Rising Sun, signed to Interscope Records. I fly out to California. I meet everyone at Interscope Records. I hear a song called Dark Four Door by Billy Raffoul, and I called the label and I said, I need to meet this guy. They said, how about tomorrow? Came in, walked into the office. Billy and I walked into the same room. We were both wearing the same leather jacket, and that was 8 or 9 years ago. We've just been best friends ever since.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you at a point now where you've taken photos of Bruce Springsteen, you've designed and taken the shots for covers of like Eminem and everything else that we were saying earlier. In those formative years, right, was there a point in your career where you go, oh shit, I'm actually doing this thing for real? Like we were talking earlier on paychecks and how you see the difference in that. Was that maybe the defining factor that made you go, oh, wow, I'm actually fully in this now?
Yes. So I guess at some point, so, you know, I would tour in the summers, and I stayed in school, and I went to college, and I was just getting like a liberal arts degree because my parents wanted me to, or I got a little scholarship at the time, and I was like, all right, let me see this through, and I'll just take photos as much as I can. I would go home every weekend and book a shoot with a band and keep doing it. And then I would tour each summer, and then it got to the point where I get a job. I was working at Spin Media, who owned Spin Magazine at the time, and I was just a desk job doing graphic design, which is what I have a degree in, as well as photography. And I was there for like a year, and I was still photographing, but not as much but I also didn't need to make as much money off photography back then because I had this desk job. And then they laid off the whole art department in New York City, where I was living at the time. And I just the next morning I woke up and a band had asked me for like a photo shoot that week and how much was my rate. And I just tripled my rate and took a shot and said, I need this much money to do it. And they said yes, and everyone's been saying yes slowly since then.
And that's what, 20 years?
Yeah, that was probably, close to 15 years ago.
My word. There's a lot of stories within those 15 years that we've briefly touched into over the last few days, spending so much time together. So obviously, Billy Raffoul's here for his tour. It was 9 shows all across South Africa, Cape Town, Stellenbosch, Joburg, Durban, PE, East London, Knysna, all over. And obviously, Jesse was documenting and capturing all the special moments, the behind the scenes, the performances, everything along the way. Getting to see you do what you do. We have the joke of the walking behind of the camera on stage is phenomenal.
I've learned I'm apparently very nonchalant on stage,
Yes.
as it's been pointed out to me. The problem is if you're seeing me on stage, I've done my job wrong.
Good point.
I should be. You probably shouldn't be looking at me, so maybe that's where it comes from.
Yeah, but also you bring so much like spice and personality to the show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
like when Billy asked me to do a stand-up routine the other night.
yes. Yeah, you have to do a quick 5.
Yeah, not normal for someone to ask me to do that, but we've just had so much fun here in South Africa the whole time that it's kind of just like, I don't know, it's like a rolling comedy show with a couple sad songs in the middle.
and it gets warned about as well. My favorite thing is Billy. Dude, Billy commands an audience, and I don't mean that in any like bad sense. I just mean you can tell when he's like, hey guys, we need to get quiet for this one. This is going to be a deep emotional one. And there's people crying and waving torches and showing hearts. And then the next thing you'll go, okay, this one's a bit more upbeat. And he brings out the pedals. And the second he hits that first pedal, everyone's on their feet. And now it's a Stoke moment.
The man is playing with more cards in his deck than other people, is what it is. So he's got this. He can throw the queen out. He can throw the king out. I'm the joker, I'm assuming. So he just throws me out there every time he needs to fill 5 minutes and have a little bit happen.
That's incredible.
But yeah, he's a real asshole.
Yeah.
Unbelievably talented, handsome, kind, considerate.
Drinking an ox hydrate feels like.
Is there no one now? Give it up for Still now.
Let's get back to the show.
Dude, it was nice to see from like sound desk as well, just getting to understand your job. Obviously, I love photography. I was in it for a while and really want to...
You shot the first Cape Town show you came to. I handed you a camera for the whole show.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was unbelievably fun.
That was a lot of fun.
You got more usable photos than I did.
Well, you were running in circles for the entire hour and a half. No, dude, that was so much fun. There's 1 or 2 shots from that actually Jess and I were saying in the car yesterday, we've got to grab those from you, the ones where we went super wide and shot up.
We'll drop, you'll have to drop them with this.
100%.
Yeah.
Good idea. We had Tatum Tides and Bushleji and everyone in the shots backstage. It was incredible. But dude, there's such a nuance to what you do in that you'd be with us at the sound desk, conversation, whatever, having a coffee or, kind of just do. And then suddenly something would happen within the audience and you would like jump to life, grab a camera and run. How does that get taught? Or is that just your natural inkling to understand the music, the industry, and the way it flows?
I want to say it's a muscle that like the more you're around it, the more it gets worked on and the more that it becomes easy to do it. But it's really just leaning into your intuition. I was raised on a phrase. My cousin Mike is kind of like, I'm an only child, but he was the closest I had to a brother. I think he's a second cousin technically. So there was an age gap, but he kind of taught me, hey, listen to this band. Let's watch this together. And his phrase is always head on a swivel. Like, keep your head on a swivel. And he probably meant it more in like a safety sense when you're walking through the world. Just see what these people are doing, what's going on. But I've kind of taken it as just like an active listening thing. Like, at all times, I'm looking around the room and feeling what's going to happen next. Because if I can predict what's going to happen next faster than the other photographer, I'm going to get the photograph.
Okay.
And then I think that skill, like trying to say it in a humble way, but I think that's why people feel comfortable with me around is because it's not just always 100%. I have a camera on me and I'm looking and I'm photographing. It's trying to toe the line between having the shared experience with the people I'm photographing and then knowing when I have to drop into the photographer role.
Okay. Because I imagine, and we'll get into the stories as well, but I imagine a lot of it is relational in that you knew Billy's set backwards in terms of what he would say in between each song, how each song would be received, where it's a higher energy, lower energy, and then how to shoot the higher and lower energy specifically, right?
Yes, everything about what I do is relationship based, from how the photographs look to how you get into the room, and more importantly, how you get to stay in the room.
Okay.
It's easy to get into a room. It's the biggest honor I get is when artists call me back tour after tour or album cycle after album cycle. That's kind of like the gold star from the teacher when you were a kid, showing you that you've done good.
Did you get a lot of gold stars as a kid?
I think I've gotten more as an adult.
I was going to say.
I think you could understand I was the class clown, being the only child and quite a smart ass from New Jersey. I used to challenge my teachers quite often.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You were telling a story the other day, obviously living in New York and tragic incident, but you were the first kid to realize flag at, what's it called?
That was our 9/11 story, which is a wild experience for anyone who grew up like where I grew up. But I remember like when it happened, I saw that our flag was at half staff, and I knew that meant something had gone wrong with the day, like in class. I'm in 6th grade. And I asked the teacher what happened, and he couldn't tell me because that was just kind of, there was like a moratorium on talking about it. It just happened minutes ago, hours ago. No one knew what was happening. And he was just like, "You're too smart for your own good."
Yeah.
And that gets me in trouble in life.
Yeah.
Because I do often think I'm too smart.
It makes sense. I mean, you are so sharp in terms of like your sense of humor and the way that you catch moments. I mean, how many times have you thrown lines that all of us are like, how many times have I written down in my notes something that you said?
Do you want to see what you've written down the last 2 days, and we can see if they're contextually still good?
2 that were incredible that I wrote down. Firstly, kissing hands and shaking babies.
Oh, that was a legit slip up of mine where I said Billy was about to head to a meet and greet so he could kiss hands and shake babies. That's like an American president. It's like I always related to like American presidents, like on a press tour.
Yes.
Like kissing babies, shaking hands and kissing babies. And that was just not a Freudian slip. It was some sort of slip. We've just been running with it ever since.
That's going to be a t-shirt now. The other was, tell my mom I love her. Tell my dad what happened.
Oh, that's a bit about deep-seated abandonment issues in male children.
Let's give context to that as well.
Here's the context. Yeah. Let me start. I'll start with this story. So we've been in South Africa for a couple days at this point, and we have an early morning flight to Joburg. I'm going to just use the abbreviations as if I'm a local now, because I've been here over 10 days.
You nailed it.
Nailed it. I get food poisoning on the flight. So it goes from being a real good time to a real bad time.
Yeah.
By the end of it, there were still a couple operational bathrooms on this flight, so I didn't ruin it for everyone, but I fucked up.
Yeah.
So I'm about the sickest I've ever been, and Billy is basically carrying me into my Joburg hotel room and puts me into bed and tucks me in. And I look at him, and 80% joking, I look him in the eyes and I say, "Is this where my story ends?"
Just in South Africa?
It's just a coping mechanism bit I've done. Like we skidded off it last year with someone. We like skidded off a runway in Ohio, like onto the grass and everything. And I was just like, my story doesn't end in Ohio. Like no knock on Ohio, but kind of a knock on Ohio.
Yeah.
So Billy loved the bit of, "Is this where my story ends?" And I went to check in somewhere, and it was not what I expected it to be, which was my own doing. I was responsible for this booking. And I looked around, and it was quite reminiscent of the Saw franchise.
Yeah.
Which is not really how you'd like your accommodations to be.
Especially not in a foreign country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do my bit. I call Billy. I tell him, I think this is where my story ends. And he goes, what do I do? And I said, well, you tell my mother I love her, and you tell my dad what happened.
His son was a legend. Blaze of glory on the way out. Yeah.
Billy is like, I love my father. I love my mother. Like every good thing in my life comes from the way they raised me and what they do. They're both artists. Like my love of music comes from them. My love of travel comes from them. My career comes from them. My dad taught me Photoshop when I was 8 years old. My mom is the reason I'm a photographer. She gave me my first camera, like all of that. But
she's also, sorry to interrupt you, she's also won awards for...
She has won 2 Emmys, which is unbelievable, for graphic design, for the Nightly News with Dan Rather and the Lillehammer Olympic Games. She worked like 3 or 4 Olympic Games. So I grew up with like just randomly every 2 years, it'd be like, mom's going to Tokyo. And that's when I like fell in love with the idea of traveling, like before I could travel. But also just the fact that like, I'd never felt like when my mom was gone for 2 months, I didn't feel like my mom was gone. Like she did such a great job of calling and sending stuff and making me feel like I was a part of it, that I realized you could do that. You could have an artistic career that takes you around the world, and you can also have a family.
Yeah.
So it was like such a great inspiration from day one. But all the dad jokes are simply because Billy has such a great relationship with his father that like I want Jody to be my other dad. Like I've got a great mom, I've got a great dad, I've got some like de facto other mothers in my life that I've met throughout these years that have taken great care of me, but I don't have like a second dad yet, so I'm just petitioning for Jody to take on that role, and he's got a lot of kids. He's got a lot of kids.
He's got a lot of kids.
He can handle one more. He's conditioned at this point.
Yeah. Uncle Jody, we're ready. We're ready.
Hey, Jody, I think I'm still subscribed to your Patreon, and I want you to go see if your bank account is still linked to that. I've been paying you every month. I don't know why. I don't just, like, I could just buy your records every month, but for some reason, I think I'm sending you about $3.72 US. And I think I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years. So, Jody, if that's enough, I would like to be your son now.
I was about to say, that's the subscription fee to be one of his sons.
Yes.
So there you go. That's fair.
I'll be one of your, if there's only a position for a daughter, I will work on that.
You can grow your hair.
I'll grow my hair out and then just see, what is it, lipstick on a pig? We'll see what we can do.
There you go. Yeah. Perfume on a casket. Exactly.
Oh, is that your version of it?
I think so. What is our version of that? We don't really have a lot of that here.
I like that one. I've never heard that one.
I like the way you say it.
Casket?
I say casket. That
sounds like you're doing a skit in a car park.
Yeah. Casket.
Yeah.
Skirt. Yeah. Casket. That's so much better. Dude, there are so many stories that we need to touch into throughout your career. So what I'm going to try and do is just say to the people, let's flow through the different stories. We were talking earlier that there's a couple that are incredible stories. The one was in a pool in the Maldives.
Oh, Bahamas. That's just that's like the best trip I've ever been on.
That's a great one.
Do you play a game called What Are the Odds?
Yes.
Do you know that game where you set the odds on something and
you go 3, 2,
3, 2, 1, boom.
7.
Done. Great.
Yeah.
So I was taught that game by a group of Irishmen that were all touring with Dermot Kennedy. Unbelievable singer-songwriter. Like the fact that I've gotten to do anything that touch his songs, a photo here, a little video clip here, like blows my mind. The man is like a generational talent. Like he might be more than a generational talent. Like I think by the end of it, like he'll be Ireland's true son. When all is said and done. So they like to do a lot of fun games. We goof around a lot backstage with them. They just they'll make up games to pass the time. And we play What Are the Odds quite often. So I think this is about 2018, I want to say in this story, and we're in Boston, Massachusetts. And they go, Jess, what are the odds that you'll get into that Coca-Cola refrigerator over there? And it's like it's like one of those life-size, like full-size ones that you would have in a business.
But is this backstage. Like a push the button and the can rolls out?
No, open. Glass panel, shelving.
Sick.
They go, Jess, what are the odds that you'll spend 5 minutes in that refrigerator? And I was like, oh, can I wear like a sweatshirt and listen to music? And they're like, yes. So I was like, 1. So we hit 3, 2, 1, 1, and I get into the damn fridge.
Yeah.
So I have a 5-minute timer. I'm just sitting in this fridge, and it wasn't cold. It wasn't hard. I listened to a Kid Dynamite record, which is a band I grew up on. And next thing you know, 5 minutes is over and no one's laughing because nothing funny has happened from this bit. It's just your friend just sat in a refrigerator for 5 minutes and everyone watched him. It was like a bad day at the zoo.
Fair.
So that wasn't enough for them. So some of the guys, Dermot's hands are, he's further away from this story. His hands were not physically involved in this, but some of the guys lean the fridge to the ground. So I'm now screaming because I'm now pinned against the ground, leaning on these glass panels. And I'm screaming to them, don't pick me up, don't pick me up. Because I would need them to roll the fridge over and I would need to exit out the door like sideways. They either don't hear me or just hear pick me up. And they lift the fridge and I just come barreling through the 2 panes of glass onto the floor, straight through. I have the photos we can show you. And Dermot's talked about this before.
You have the photos?
I have photos of it. He's been asked what the craziest thing that happened backstage once is. And he said, we did almost kill our photographer. And I think the craziest bit in all of it is that, one, I was completely fine, unscathed, unharmed. This was like in that trend. I don't know if you guys had that trend there, but we used to wear these hoodies from like H&M that were like pre-thrashed and everything. They look like someone took like a razor blade to them
kind
and
of like
everything.
the Kanye West type stuff when that was trendy.
The glass didn't even add anything to the already scratched hoodie I had. Like, then it's just full stolen valor. Like, I came so close to getting a couple scars. Nothing.
No battle scars out of this
No
one.
battle scars. Nothing happened. We tell the venue because we feel bad that we've broken their fridge. And the venue owner just goes, oh, my daughter's a huge fan. Would you mind meeting her? And just that was the pay. The daughter came back, hung out with everyone, took a photograph, and we just went on with our lives.
What?
Yeah. It was the last day I ever journaled in my life. My last journal entry in the journal says, I fell through a fridge today.
And that's the end of it?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yep.
That's beautiful. Fell through a fridge and just became a new person on the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a great story. I had a thing for riding on the hoods of cars. I don't know why in high school, but you could hold on to where the hood meets the window. You could hold on in there. And we used to do it quite often. Either that or skate behind someone on a motorbike.
Oh, hitching or like, yeah.
And we just go to the store. So like we'd see how many of us could hold on to the back of this bike on skateboards and all make it there safely.
Was there one time where like that you kind of came off that knife edge real quick?
Dude, I mean, I'd fallen off a couple cars, but I climbed on. It was our graduation in high school, and I climbed on the hood, and I was facing the front, holding on the back. And my mate was like speeding up and down the school parking lot, and we were trying to see like how fast he could go and still keep me on the front. And all the parents are arriving for this graduation. We're about to walk stage, shake hands, receive your,
shake babies, kiss hands.
Shake babies and kiss hands. And we racing down the parking lot, and he gets to the entrance and just slams on brakes. And I get thrown to the front of the hood, and someone turns in, which is why we slam on brake before the two cars go into each other. The people turning in, my parents. And it's just my mom and dad staring at me through the windscreen, just going, seriously? Gown and everything. And I'm just like, hey, welcome to my school. Yeah.
That's the little stunt. You'll hear more about it next week. But Billy and I pulled off a little stunt while we were here.
Yeah.
We may have co-piloted some planes next to one another. And when my mother found out, her only comment was, you too.
Yeah, once again.
And again, dude, she's not talking about Ireland. She's not talking about the old Dermot Kennedy. She's not talking about you two. She's talking about Billy and I being just you two rascals.
Just getting up to shit.
Yes.
I love it. You guys have handled sore bathrooms. You've handled, being sick.
We spent my
breaking
30th...
a bathroom in a plane.
Yeah, I did break that bathroom.
Shout out Fly Sapphire.
Yeah, thank you, Sapphire. We spent my 30th birthday back in my drinking days shooting Fireball on a glacier in Alaska.
Dude, that's incredible.
Oh, yeah. There's a music video. We filmed it. We have the footage to prove it.
Which music video?
It's a song Billy did with my good friends, American authors, called Say Amen. And so for my 30th birthday, I wanted to do all 50 states before I turned 30. And Alaska was my 50th state in the Union. So we all flew there. We were just going to go for a birthday trip. Me, Zach from American Authors, Billy, and our good friend Alex Seeger. And we decided, like the day before, we were like, wait, you guys have a song coming out. Should we do something? And I can't remember how it came about, but I think I texted Zach or the managers, and someone sent like one text to the label and was like, "You want to do a music video while we're there?" And like, "You mean you want to have our whole birthday trip paid for by someone else?"
What?
Absolutely. And that was my 50th date with Billy. And then this birthday, we co-piloted planes over South Africa.
Dude, that is awesome. Wait, so you've been to all 50 states?
I've done all 50 states, and I'm working. The big part of me like wanting to come to this trip and see like another otherworldly place is now I'm just going to try to knock out all the continents before I'm 40. So this is my 5th continent that I've photographed a musician on. That's the main thing for me. I want to photograph musicians, do what I do for a living on all 7 continents.
What, South America?
South America and Antarctica.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. Antarctica might be a tough one.
Antarctica will probably have to be something like just Billy and I hopping on a cruise there and getting dropped off and hanging out with the penguins there and playing some songs for the 200 scientists that live on Antarctica.
Yeah, there you go, dude.
We're starting. I just need to save up the money for that, so I got a couple years left.
Well, you can come here and then fly from here.
Yes,
I know, like Mr. Beast did that.
yes, yeah. I don't fly the same way Mr. Beast does.
I mean, granted.
I fly Delta.
Good point. And fly Safair. Yeah. Delta. About to hit 1 million miles.
You and I have been together for 13 years. I'm
Yeah.
going to hit million miler status this year, God willing. You have delayed our flight out of Cape Town.
But
You
for
have-
good reason.
You have cost Billy and I another night in a hotel. But I still love you. And if we can get through this, we can get through anything.
You can get through anything. His
have I told you about-
Delta,
Yeah, no, go.
your Delta is Billy's Hotel Inn.
Holiday Inn, yes. Billy
Holiday
loves
Inn.
Holiday Inn more than anything. So if you guys are hearing this, record a clip of this, go into a little screen record feature on your phone, screen record this, and please tag Holiday Inn, tag Billy Raffoul. Now, here's the thing. So Holiday Inn Express, their social media is just tagged by Billy Raffoul 24/7. He makes up a significant portion of their mentions each morning.
Love it.
Now, here's the thing. Billy wants a second hotel room. He's willing to pay for one. He would love a second one free. There is a poor intern or someone in the marketing department that wakes up every day and has guitar played at them from their Instagram story.
Yes.
They are following this man around the country and just seeing him tag Holiday Inn Express in South Africa. I don't even know if there is one on the continent.
Probably not.
Billy says he
However-
stayed in one. I think it was just IHG.
There's a Holiday Inn Express 3 miles from the studio.
In Cape Town. Well, I know. We're looking at you, Holiday Inn Cape Town City Express Center. We'll be there when we're done with this. And we expect a room under the name Billy Raffoul.
With you. There we go. Yeah. Put
Anyway.
it on a Jody raffle and see what happens.
Yeah, put it under Jody Raffoul.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of a callback?
Cheers. Thank you, Knox. We love you, boys.
Oh, that's goddamn delightful.
Uh-huh.
Why does the biggest man I know have the tiniest Vaseline container?
Because I bought it when I was traveling to Joburg. And I don't know if you guys realize this, but when you're in Joburg, it's dry.
I swear I thought you were going to tell me you bought it when you were a child and you've been refilling it since. And it was an
That-
appropriate size for you back
That
then.
would be... Let's restart the story. Ask me again.
Why does the smallest man...
Yeah,
this is shaking,
Shaking
babies,
babies,
all
kissing
over
hands.
again. All right. Why does... Now that we've gotten all of our brand sponsorships out of the way, thanks to Knox, why does the largest man I've ever met have the tiniest Vaseline container?
Well, you see, this was bought for me when I was a kid. And I've just been refilling it ever since. So I've had this for... Wow.
So the
20,
first 7 years
26
of your
years?
life were just you, your parents, and that Vaseline container?
100%. Yeah, I didn't have any siblings yet, so I used to give it a name. And this was my little imaginary friend. Yeah. Vaseline. Working with singer-songwriters in different countries around the world and the experiences of that. So you've had a very, very in-depth view into how albums get made.
Yes.
Got to touch into that.
Yes. So I think of all the things I get to do of traveling with musicians, photographing the concerts, photographing the events. The thing that's like most special for me is when I'm allowed to watch them write the songs and create them. It's it's born out of a lot of things. Like, I think it's just the most beautiful thing, and it's a thing I've always envied about certain arts, is that they can create something out of thin air. So like a painter, like my mother's traditional background, painting, illustrating, songwriters, they pull something out of nothing. The thing they create didn't exist before they all walked into that room.
Yeah.
And that's the most remarkable thing in the world to me. As a photographer, I have to have something in front of me. And so there's a bit of creative envy there that these people are talented enough to get to do that with their medium. And I've always been intrigued by that. So, Billy will tell you the story when you talk to him about recording "You Be Love" with Avicii. And Billy did his own version of that on his first record, and it was the first video I ever did for Billy. And I was actually in the room. It was just me, the cameraman, Billy, and Mike Crossy, the producer, when Billy recorded his version of "You Be Love," the acoustic version. So that version that's on the record is live in one take, acoustic, with our cameras in the room at the same time. So that version of that song that everyone's gotten to listen to around the world, I was physically standing in like a 10-foot by 10-foot room with Billy as he did it. Damn. So not only is he doing that live, but I know he's a real asshole. Yeah. Not only is he doing it in one take, he's doing it in one take in front of cameras, as well as the recording studio, as well as this, as well as that. So those moments are just so special to me. And last year, I had just moved to Nashville, Tennessee, after 10 years in Los Angeles. And I got to fly to the Bahamas with Kelsea Ballerini and the women that she wrote the record with, who are all like songwriting heroes, legends of mine: Hillary Lindsey, Karen Fairchild, Jessie Jo Dillon, and the producer Lisa Vanderheim. And I was the only guy there for a week. Like, it was 7 women and me. And the fact that like I get allowed into these women's like spaces to watch them do this is like the biggest pat on the back I could ever get in my profession. Yeah, like they trust me. With Kelsea. Kelsea is mostly photographed by my good friend Catherine Powell, who brought me into that world, and I record video. So I filmed and directed all the making of the record. And like the fact that I get to sit by a pool in the Bahamas and read a book while these women are like pulling songs out of thin air is just like the coolest experience I ever get to do with my life. It's like, it's one of those weeks of your life where it's just like, why do I need my cell phone to be on? Like, phone's off. I'm here. I'm doing this. There's nothing in the world that is more important than watching songs get made to me. And being able to document that it makes me feel like the luckiest person ever.
What was the most like surprising thing about seeing someone make an album for you?
There's the answer. My favorite, the way I would answer that is that, like, in the sense of the story I just told, it was seeing the collaboration between all of them. This person throws in a line, that person throws in a line. It was like a true collaboration. And that's like super inspiring because there's no ego involved. There's no stepping on one another's toes. It's what's best for the song wins. And that's the coolest thing in the world. And then it's also cool to go in with an artist who's maybe just doing something entirely by themselves, and you see them fighting within themselves to pull this song out, and then it comes out. Both of those are just like deeply inspiring things to me to get to witness and to get to photograph. And if I could create the feeling that my photographs and my video of these moments are showing the world a little peek behind the curtain, then I've done my job. But I still like them to know that we're the ones holding the curtain.
Okay.
There's certain things that just have to say secret and have to say sacred more than anything. Really? Yeah.
For what? For the sake of music?
I think so. I think that we've created such an accessibility to artists that some of the mystique's gone. And one of my favorite films is Almost Famous. And there's a young Jimmy Fallon is playing like a up-and-coming band manager. And then he does this whole bit, you guys can watch it, where he does this. And he's got his hands like this. So he's offering this open hand or what's in this hand. And he essentially says, like, as long as you don't know what's in this hand, you're going to choose it. And there is something here. But if he starts the bit like this, you might pick this and realize there's nothing there, but he's created that mystique, and that mystique is alive. And that's what, like, I make this joke all the time when in like the TikTok generation we're in, but it's like, I'm really glad I've never seen Bruce Springsteen's socks.
Yeah.
Like there
what
was
he ate for breakfast.
Yeah, there is an allure to the mystique of rock and roll that is being pulled back. And while I understand the marketing behind things and the commercial, the need for it, I just always want to treat what I'm showing people with a reverence that isn't giving away too much.
Yeah.
I feel a duty to the people that let me be in their space and take photographs and make videos with them, that what is shown to the world is what they want shown to the world.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is a big factor in that you keep getting asked to be in the
Well,
room.
you're ultimately in control of the narrative, right?
And that's why I want to be the one holding the curtain.
Yeah. I love that.
Now, the Tom Cruise thing's real because I watched Top Gun Maverick on the flight over here on Delta Airlines. My longest relationship, 13 years. 13 years, you and I, Delta. And
Do they know?
I think they know.
Okay.
Yes. I'm pretty sure they know. I hope that I get a nice message. Oh, yeah. Have I ever told you what my favorite superhero film is?
No.
It's Up in the Air, featuring George Clooney, because that man flew 10 million miles. And if that's not a superhero thing, I don't know what is.
Gotta ask on taking photos of Bruce Springsteen, just because you mentioned that literally in passing today, mid drinking a coffee. Oh, by the way, I did this thing. And I'm like, wow, that's really, really cool.
So if you're from where, like the area of the world where I'm from in New Jersey, like Bruce Springsteen is our hero. If you are not a Bruce Springsteen fan, they revoke your driver's license.
I can understand.
And I was standing outside of a bar in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in my early 20s. And I was with my friend. He was wearing a Bruce Springsteen shirt, and a guy walks up to us and starts talking, just chit-chatting. And I pieced together that the week prior, I had seen Bruce Springsteen play in Pittsburgh, and this guy that's now talking to me, his name's Johnny Grishecki. He came out on stage with Bruce, and him and his father, Joe Grishecki, played with Springsteen. So he's just talking to us because we have Bruce Springsteen shirts on. And then each sentence we shared with one another, we realized, oh, we all know this band, we all know this band, we all know that band, we all know this band. And one thing leads to another over the years, and the Grishekis become family to me, and I'm photographing them, and I get a call from them, and they're like, hey, you want to come shoot us play with Springsteen? And you say yes to that, obviously. There's no saying no to that. And I get to photograph them live, and it was lovely. And then a year later, they use a photo of mine, a photo of me. Like, I'm on the cover of a Joe Grishecki and the House Rockers featuring Bruce Springsteen song. And it just kept going from there. Like, I've gotten to be in the room with Bruce 5, 6, 7 times in my life, and he's always like, he knows what he means to people. He acts accordingly. Like, you leave with a story, and you walk in the room, he knows you, and you leave the room feeling like he valued the time he spent with you, which is crazy because it's like, no, I value the time I spent with you because you're Bruce Springsteen. And like what's crazy for me is that like I grew up wanting to be a rock and roll photographer, and there's a photographer from New Jersey named Danny Clinch who is like a hero of mine because he's from New Jersey, he's from the Toms River area, Springsteen's from Jersey. For most of my adult life, like starting, I think he first photographed Bruce when I was about probably 12 years old, like it was 2000, 2001, somewhere in there. I got to see an example of a guy from an hour away from me photographing a hero of everyone from New Jersey's who's also from there. And by seeing his body of work and that over the years, I just realized like, oh, I can just do that. Like I can do it because these two guys from Jersey have done it. So why couldn't I? And it was just the coolest way to like, it felt like a pat on the back from someone I didn't know telling me like, you've got this. And I've gotten to meet Danny over the years, and he's always unbelievably kind to me too. And it's just surreal to me that like I've gotten now I have a photograph of myself and my mother and Danny and Bruce just standing in a dressing room. And that like shouldn't happen. Like statistically, it just shouldn't happen. Like if there's a proof of simulation theory, it's half of my life. Half of the experiences I get to have like feel willed into existence. And I don't think I'm the one willing them in because like it just, none of it should happen. And it keeps happening.
That is trippy. That is a legend photo that you got to put up in your house one day.
Oh yeah, I have many of Danny's photos of Bruce in my home, so I don't put up my own of Bruce because I'm not touching that guy's work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm nowhere close.
So he's that high on a pedestal for you that it's like, that's the goal one day when I can achieve that.
There's modern photographers like Danny Clinch and Frank Ockenfels and a slightly older generation like and Anton Corbin. Like those people are heroes to me in the same way that Richard Avedon is. That's who I wrote my thesis on in college is Richard Avedon's In the American West. I just got to go see it for the first time, like 40 of the prints from it. It hadn't run and it's the 40th anniversary this year. So like I put those modern music photographers and rock photographers like on the same pedestal as an Avedon because like they have ultimately done what I want to do in life, which is that if you think of an artist, if you think of Tupac, the photo you think of Tupac is a Danny Clinch photo.
Wow, really?
The photo, if you think of Marilyn Monroe, the photo of Marilyn you're thinking of is the one Avedon got of her like looking sad and out of character.
Yes.
I want to create those photos.
Well, I think you've already done that with the 1975 EP cover because we literally said in the car yesterday, I was like, that's the picture that pops to mind for me, the black and white one.
Yeah, that's
And
like,
you took that.
we got to like just that like the fun story with that photo shoot is like, again, that's just one of those things where it's like, you never know what a photo is going to be like that. I think that was just Billy and I just had an extra day and we're taking photos. He's wearing my jacket, my shirt. Like I wasn't prepared for this. We just walked in, took a photo and then like, it's an album cover. And I think that was my second or third album cover for Interscope. And like, I can't thank that record label enough. Like the fact that Young Rising Sun signed there and introduced me. And then I got to work with Billy and Interscope for 5 years. Like to this day, I can trace the line from my first time working with that record label to where I'm at in my career now. And they have supported me like none other.
Touring Japan.
From all storms stems from that.
Really?
Direct line. The people that I met at that record label because of Billy and other artists got me straight through to that. All of my biggest opportunities have been from Interscope Records still.
Who were you touring Japan with?
Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay.
So that was my first time ever to Asia last year, and I got to be one of the photographers on the Guts World Tour. So I got to do like, I think I ended up doing like 10 or 11 countries in Europe and Asia for Olivia, and that was through Interscope Records. That was like directly, I can trace the line from my friends writing songs in Steve Patrick's basement in New Jersey to being in Japan with Olivia Rodrigo. And all it is just saying yes to everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if
Seeing
you
opportunity
can't
and
go
grabbing
into, seeing opportunity and grabbing it and not trying to, you can make the most of an opportunity, but you can't be opportunistic. If you go into an opportunity only because you think it's going to lead to something, you will get blocked. Something will universally will keep you from then going to the next step. If you accept an opportunity and just make the most of doing good, honest work within that opportunity, doors will open that you could never imagine.
Who are some other people that you've worked with that, like, when I ask you this question, they pop out for you as like, wow, that was an experience?
There's like, I remember the first time, like the first arena tour I ever got to do working for a headlining band was Imagine Dragons. And that was just so cool for me to get that opportunity to go from all the years of playing small clubs and small this and photographing in these clubs and that venue and this theater to all of a sudden just me photographing a band in an arena. Like that was game changer to me. And they were so kind to me. And Dan and I were closest of the four of them. And like, just like I looked at that man and I looked at how hard he worked every day on every part of his life and his job, from his fitness to his mental health to his performance on stage. And I realized you can work harder.
Yeah.
Like he raised the bar for how much I saw a human being could accomplish in a day. So the same way that like Danny and Bruce inspired me to like keep taking photos, Dan inspired me to like get your body in check, get your mind in check, be intentional with what you do and look forward. And in the same way, I did some touring with the All-American Rejects, and Tyson taught me that same thing. What Tyson taught me is that like he could rest on his laurels and do the same show every night. And instead, I never knew what he was going to do in the best way.
Really?
I didn't know what bit he was going to do. I didn't know where he was going to go on stage. I didn't know if he was going to run to the back of the arena. I didn't know if he was just going to pull a prank on an audience member. I didn't know if he was going to pull the audience on stage with us. It was a wild card every night, and that taught me, again, like to not rest on your laurels.
Yeah.
So that's why like I love every single opportunity I've gotten to do with all of these artists, and I am still like, I just can't believe that the phone keeps ringing.
Eminem.
Yes, that's a fun story. And it's also an Interscope Records story. So thank you.
There you go.
Once again, thank you, Interscope Records. You are my second longest relationship behind Delta Airlines.
Good little synergy between the two there, though. You need one for the other.
I sure do. And that's a story I have. One of the coolest moments of my early career was the band that signed to Interscope that like helped launch my career, Young Rising Suns. I spent a year and a half like traveling the world with them and just like flying everywhere. Like, I don't even know if I had paid rent anywhere this year. Like, I think I was just with them all the time. I did pay rent in Los Angeles. And it did cost me a relationship or two, but it was worth it. So I remember like after the year and a half of traveling with them and editing all of this and doing that and shooting that, I got on a Delta flight once and I pressed play on like the music section. And it was a video of them that I had shot, and all of the cameras I used to shoot it were in the overhead compartment, and all of the computers I used to edit it were at my feet. And I was just like, it was my first like real full circle moment at like 23, 24 years old. Yeah.
Damn, that's a full circle moment.
The Eminem album cover is quite fun that I got to do. It was Eminem featuring Beyonce. I knew none of these things. I just got a text message that said, "Do you have a photo that looks like XYZ?"
Oh, okay.
And I said, yes. And they said, can you send it to me as soon as possible? And I said, yes, I'm at dinner right now. And the next text said, leave dinner. So I knew something was like, I knew there was a reason that I was being asked that.
Dude, I would love to get a leave dinner text.
It's the only one I've ever gotten. It was awesome. Such a thrill.
So badass.
Like, that's a badass.
Leave dinner. I'd be like, and I'd run.
I leave dinner. I send, it was our friend, or Billy and I's friend, Christiana is the one. She's supported me like no one else in the music industry. It was her saying, leave dinner. Send her send her 20 options of what she needed a photo of. Like I put together a folder real quick, boom, send it. And then however many minutes later, like minutes later, I just get a text. She texts me back. She says, congratulations, you have the new Eminem single cover. It comes out on Friday. This was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. It's like literally at the 11th hour. So I'm like flying high already because like that's so cool. Like I grew up like that era of MTV is like what made me want to be a director. Like to direct music videos. It was like all those Eminem music videos and the Dr. Dre music videos. And then like the MTV's making the video for like the one for Jennifer Lopez's Waiting for Tonight is what made me want to be a director. The only other thing that comes close to that is Sam Jones's Wilco documentary, I'm Trying to Break Your Heart. Those two things are what opened my eyes to like, you can be a director and you can make music related stuff.
Oh, okay.
So Friday morning rolls around and I see that Beyonce is on the song too. So it's Eminem featuring Beyonce, Walk on Water, and I had the single cover for it, and I went shopping.
Retail therapy.
Yeah, I don't even know if I knew what I'd been paid yet or anything, but I was just like, it's probably going to be good. So I went and bought this bracelet, and it's been on my wrist ever since. So thank you, Christiana, for making me leave that dinner.
Thank you, Eminem and Beyonce. Yeah, dude, that is a crazy story.
It's just putting yourself out there and being in the right place at the right time, and people will think of you.
Yeah.
You don't have to bug people. You don't have to hound people. You just have to do good work, and I swear those people are thinking of you.
Yeah.
The people that can give you opportunities are already thinking of you.
Yeah.
Don't badger them.
Love that you got the chance to meet or work with.
It's the Springsteen thing for sure, but I have I have a story I can tell you that's like brings it full circle again. And that is last year I get to go to Rome just as a fan, like going to see Bruce Springsteen play at the Circus Maximus. And I go with the family that I mentioned, the Grishekis, and they go above and beyond to take care of us when we're with them. And we're backstage and we're waiting to say hello to Bruce, and my mother's with me. And I'll tell this story because there's photos of all of these people, and I don't think I'm outing anyone.
Okay.
So I'm backstage at the Circus Maximus, like where they used to run the chariots in ancient Rome. That's where Bruce has decided to play. So that's already surreal. And out inside the same gate that we have just been driven in, 2 black cars pull up, just black SUV, Sprinter vans. And out of them, in this order, so my mother's standing next to me, witnessing all this, is what's so fun about this. My mother, the Grishekis, first one out's Chris Rock. So we're just like, oh shit, that's an actual celebrity, like right there. That's a big one. Next is Lars Ulrich from Metallica.
What?
So I'm like, all right, I'm starting to have some questions. How are these? What's going on? And then Woody Harrelson comes out. So I'm like, okay, whoa, that's Woody Harrelson. So now, like, I can keep my cool around any musician. You give me an actor or an athlete, I have to leave. Yeah. If a New York Yankee walked in right now, I'm climbing out onto the fire escape.
Oh,
like I just
really?
can't keep my cool around.
Big deal
it.
for you?
Big deal for me.
Okay.
Big deal for me. We all want to be the other thing. Like chefs want to be musicians, and musicians want to be chefs, and they want to be actors, and like so. There's some sort of like charm still for the other mediums.
That's very true.
Yeah,
I think being a musician is literally the coolest job in the world.
right.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
Unless you're an actor, or unless you're a chef,
And
or
you wanna-
like, and so on and so forth. Like
Okay.
there's some sort of shape of all of these that want to just be one another. So I see these three celebrities get out, and my mom is like starstruck, and it's a cool experience to see your mother starstruck after she's given you so much in her life. She's got stories of meeting Paul McCartney. She went to Studio 54 with Andy Warhol. Why does she care about anyone I know? Yeah. It's a story for another time. And so first off, I'm thinking, who sat in the middle seat of those three people, and who got them all in the same room in the first place? But before we can ask any of those questions or figure out what's going on, another black car. Its doors open. And it is Sting and Trudy. So my mom is now losing her mind, pulls out her phone, like takes a little paparazzi photo of Sting, to which I have to be like, Mom, you can't do that, but I'm glad you did that. So I'm now the coolest, like, child of all time. She's just met Bruce Springsteen, and now she's looking at all these. And then Sacha Baron Cohen gets out, and Isla Fisher gets out, and we're all just losing our mind. And the cars pull away, and just when we're like, this can't get weirder, in the dust, backlit by the sun, it's just rain. So the rain is soaked the Circus Maximus, where the gladiators lived, breathed, and died. The wet ground, the sun doing it, is Nick Cave in a bright white suit in daylight. Like, no one ever thinks they're going to see Nick Cave at all, but you see him in daylight, and it's the most unsettling experience of your entire life.
In a white suit.
In a bright white suit. So all of that, it's like just any of those things is like, there's no reason why when I took my first photograph in a VFW hall in New Jersey, should I be able to introduce my mom to Bruce Springsteen. But it's happened.
Alongside Chris Rock, Metallica, Woody Harrelson. Wow.
I'll be so honest, I was too starstruck to say shit to any of them.
Oh, no, I wouldn't be able to either.
Yeah.
No.
We didn't come close to them.
No.